By the time Nandi finally called back, Pastor Sibu stepped outside, but the women moved closer to the window like flies near a sweet juice. They could not hear everything, but they heard enough. Pastor Sibu said, "The welfare money is missing." Then he paused. "They are saying you were the last person in the office." I'm not accusing you, my love. I am just asking, what exactly happened? Okay, you went where? Mama Bruce leaned forward. Sister Pinky almost entered the window. Papa Sibu lowered his voice, but they still managed to hear. "So why didn't you tell me?" Ah, that sentence finished Nandio. By the time she returned to the church, everybody was looking at her suspiciously. She walked in with that same handbag and a calm face that already showed that she knew that everybody judged her. Pastor Sibu met her near the office door. "Nandi, did you enter the office today?" "Yes." "Did you see the brown envelope?" She paused. "Yes, I saw an envelope." Sister Pinky inhaled as if revelation had opened. Pastor Sibu swallowed. "Did you touch it?" Nandi looked at him. She felt disappointed hearing that question from him. "Sibu, I did not take the church money." Gogmavis asked. "Then why were you checking the blue file?" Nandi turned to her. "Because I needed to confirm something." Mama Breezy's voice came out smooth and dangerous. "What exactly, Mama Nandi?" Nandi looked around the room. "It is something I cannot explain here, okay?" Yo, wrong answer. Very wrong answer. Even the women who liked her looked away. Mama Breezy sighed. "Pastor, you see why transparency matters?" Nandi looked at her. "For weeks, you people have been looking at me as if I came here with a stolen goat. Now money is missing. And it's as if your suspicion has finally found a uniform to fit in." Mama Bisi placed her hand on her chest. "This is not about feelings. This is about widows and children." Kai, that one hit Nandi. Her eyes became shiny, but she didn't cry. Pastor Sibu asked her again, "Where did you go after leaving here?" Nandi hesitated. Then she said, "To see Zaza." "Ah, how?" Sister Pinky whispered. Pastor Sibu frowned. "Zaza from the salon?" "Yes." "Why, if I may ask?" Nandi shook her head. "I said I cannot discuss that matter here." "Hey, well." Mama Bisi lifted her eyebrows. "So, Mama, wait. You entered the office, saw the welfare envelope, left with a full handbag, went to see Zaza, and now you cannot explain why?" Nandi didn't say anything. And because she didn't say anything, everybody started answering for her. Sister Pinky added the final pepper. "Pastor, forgive me, but this is not the first time." She was also seen leaving Brother Bongi's office with a brown envelope. Pastor Sibu turned to Nandi. "Bongi?" Nandi closed her eyes for 1 second, like, that also has an explanation. "Then explain it." "Again, not here." Pastor Sibu stepped back as if her words had pushed him. That small movement broke her more than any gossip, you know. Mama Brisu did not need to shout. The evidence was already there, facing them in broad daylight. She said, "For the sake of the church, Mama Nandi should step aside from the girls' program and all the welfare work until this matter is settled, Pastor." Nandi looked at Pastor Sibu and waited for him to give his verdict. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out quickly. Then finally he said, "Maybe it is better, just for now." Ah! Nandi looked at him for a very long time, and then she nodded. "Okay." The girls' notebooks were still on the table, the snacks were still packed. Everything she prepared for them was sitting there quietly, while the adults turned her kindness into suspicion. Wow. At the door, Nandi stopped and looked at Pastor Sibu. "You asked me if I touched the money. But then you didn't ask why everybody was so ready to believe that I did it." Pastor Sibu looked down. He was embarrassed. And she just walked out. By that evening, the whole of Grace Fire Church had swallowed the wrong story and was already asking for toothpick. They said Nandi entered the office and the welfare money disappeared. When Nandi got home, She removed her dress slowly, while her husband stood by the bedroom door, looking as if guilt had followed him home. Of course it had. He said, Nandi, I am sorry about today. Nandi folded her dress and didn't even look at him. Are you sorry because they embarrassed me or because you doubted me? Pastor Sibu opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Nandi nodded and said, well, that silence is also an answer. The next evening, the church council gathered in the small meeting room behind the sanctuary. Pastor Sibu sat with the elders. Gogmavis came with the blue record file and her calculator, looking ready to count money and lies. Lerato sat in the corner, squeezing a pen inside her grey cardigan as if the pen had offended her personally. She was literally shaking. Mama Bisi entered with Sister Pinky behind her, her assistant. Her head wrap was so high, her Bible was firmly tucked under her arm, and her face looked holy enough to bury somebody. Sister Pinky carried a notebook she didn't need because gossip looks more serious when it looks holy. Nandi sat beside Pastor Sibu in a white blouse, bright red skirt, and low heels. She looked calm. Then Pastor cleared his throat and began. We are here to discuss the missing welfare money. Let us all speak the truth and with respect. Mama Bristol nodded slowly. Pastor, truth is why we are here. This money was for widows and children. Mama Nandi was the last person seen entering the office. She came out with files. Her handbag was full, and a brown envelope was seen inside it. We cannot behave as if our eyes are for decoration. Come on. Sister Pinky murmured, it is true, it is true. But her whisper had like a microphone in it. Pastor Sibu said, suspicion is not proof. I need proof. Mama Bisu leaned forward. Pastor, sometimes suspicion becomes proof when it keeps wearing the same dress over and over. Nandi looked at her. Mama Bisi, if suspicion is wearing dress, please, I beg you, check who sold the dress. Ha! One elderly person coughed. Mama Bisi smiled tightly. Then let us check it. Brother Bongi is here already. Let us check. Brother Bongi shifted in his chair like a man dragged from worship into police interview. Mama Bisu faced him. Why was a married pastor's wife inside your office after choir practice, holding a brown envelope? Brother Bongi cleared his throat. Oh, Pastor, Mama Nandi only came to help me with a grant application. Sister Pinky blinked. A grant? Yes, Sister Pinky. A children's music program grant. I wanted to start free musical lessons for township children. But then the form was a bit ambiguous for me. One elder looked down in shame. Then Brother Bongi opened his bag and brought out papers. The envelope had the proposal, receipts for music books, and printed documents. I thanked her because she helped me. Nothing shameful happened. Mama Brisi adjusted her head wrap. Then why did she say it should be kept quiet? Eh? Is this a secret? Brother Bongi looked embarrassed. Because I didn't want to announce it until the grant was approved. I wanted Pastor to hear it properly and not through gossip. Sister Pinky looked away as if the gossip had pinched her in the eye. Gog Mavis checked the papers. Well, these receipts are real? Brother Bongi nodded. Of course, the only fake thing here is the story you people are carrying about. Mama Bisu's face tightened. Fine. What about Zaza, the saloon woman? As if her name had opened the door, Zaza entered. Ah, Chekeleke. She didn't enter like somebody begging church people. Her hair was laid, trust. Her lashes were awake. Her nails were bright red. And her orange dress looked like confidence had its own tailor for it. She looked around and said, so this is the court? Nobody answered her. Zaza dragged one chair and sat down. Good evening, Pastor. I heard my Fanta had become church evidence. So I came. One elder pressed his lips together. Pastor Sibu looked at Nandi. And Nandi said, I asked her to come. Mama Bisu frowned. So now the worldly woman is inside council church meeting. Oh, beautiful. Zaza turned slowly to look at the woman. Mama, please say it well. I dressed properly for this case. Okay? Hmm. Pastor Sibu said, Zaza, please tell us why Nandi came to see you. Zaza's face changed a bit and she started talking. My niece is 16. She is pregnant. She was scared and wanted to run away. I called Nandi because she was the only church woman I trusted not to throw stone before asking questions. Hey, everywhere became quiet. Nandi came to my salon. She sat with the girl. She helped us find a clinic and a counselor. And she told me not to shame the girl because shame does not remove pregnancy. It only adds fear. You know, that is why I said I would not tell the church women anything. It wasn't their story to chew. We were not planning to steal welfare money over Fanta. Okay? We were talking something serious. And yes, I held her hand because I was crying. Should I have held her elbow for holiness? Everybody became embarrassed. You people called me worldly. But when burial happens, you borrow my chairs. When meat needs freezer, you call me. But then, because I drank Fanta with Nandi, suddenly I am a wolf. Wow. She leaned forward and spoke to Mama Buisi herself. Mama Buisi, if I am a wolf, why do your sheep keep borrowing my stuff? Ah, that one entered though, and Mama Buisi's mouth tightened. This meeting is about missing money. Don't divert. Zaza nodded. Oh, good. Then stop using my salon to decorate your accusation because all of you are wrong. Before Mama Bisi could recover, Mama Ruth, one of the widows, stepped in nervously. Pastor, I heard Mama Nandi is being accused. I do not know about missing money, but I know what she has done for me. Mama Bisi sighed. Ha! Mama Ruth, this is a council meeting, please. Mama Ruth looked at her and said, Yes, Mama. This is why truth should also attend the meeting. Ah, Gog Mavis looked up like she liked that one. Mama Ruth faced the elders and continued. Well, my grandchildren had no school shoes last month. Mama Nandi bought them and begged me not to announce it. Another woman spoke from the doorway, as if all of them had planned to come to support Nandi. She helped me start my lunch pack business. Oh. She told me to stop selling with emotions and start calculating with sense. Zaza nodded. Powerful advice. Some people's businesses are dying because customers are eating on credit and saying, God bless you, sister. Ah, even Gogmavis murmured. That one is true. A younger woman added, Nandi paid my daughter's exam fees. She said I should also keep it quiet. Small kindness started to fall in. School shoes, food support, business plan, small help. While the church was measuring her heels and her dresses, she had been carrying people's problems without noise. Chai, what a good woman. Pastor Sibu looked at his wife as if he was seeing the weight she had been hiding. Then, as Mama Beauty saw that the room was softening, she stood up quickly. All the stories are touching. Oh, yes, God bless you, Nandi. But they do not answer the question. A person can help people and still fall into temptation. Please, where is our welfare money? Everywhere went quiet again. That one was clever because, it made sense. The matter on ground was about the welfare money. Brother Bongi's papers had cleared one suspicion. Zaza had cleared another. The women had shown Nandi's heart. But then, the missing money was still missing. All eyes returned to Nandi. Then a small sound came from the corner. It was Lerato. Her pen had fallen from her hand. Her shoulders were shaking, and tears were literally running down her eyes as she wiped them with her grey cardigan sleeves. Gogmavis turned sharply. Lerato, what is wrong with you? Lerato opened her mouth, but she couldn't talk. And Mama Buisi's face changed. Ah, it was so quick, oh, but Nandi saw it. Zaza saw it too and leaned forward like somebody that just smelt burnt stew. The pastor stood slowly and said, Lerato, I'm fine, sir. Zaza leaned back. My darling, even onions do not cry with this much commitment. What's up? Pastor Sibu asked again, Lerato, if you know anything, speak plainly now. Mama Bisi turned quickly. Pastor, please. The girl is emotional. Give her some time. Zaza smiled. Eish, Mama Bisi. When it was Nandi, you were using handbag as police exhibit. Now, emotion has become what? Please, please speak. Lerato shook even harder and said, Mama Brisu, please. Hey, everywhere froze. Oh. Pastor Sibu looked at Mama Brisu. What does that mean? Then Mama Brisu forced a smile and said, This girl cries when prints are jams. Eh? Please do not build a whole doctrine from her tears. It's normal. Then Lerato covered her face and said, I I moved the money. Hey, what? Gogmavi stood up immediately. You did what? Lerato cried even harder. I said I moved the welfare money from the drawer. I didn't spend it all. I didn't spend it. It is inside the old offering bag behind the hymn books. Kogmavis marched to the cupboard, moved the hymn books, and guess what, my paddies? Pulled out the old offering bag and brought out the envelope. Hey! She counted the money quickly and said, It is complete. Sister Pinky whispered, Yo, that's crazy. Zaza faced her. Please, whisper it louder. When it was Nandi's name, your voice carried a microphone. Pastor Sibu looked pale. Lerato, why? She pointed with trembling fingers. Mama Bisu told me to move it. Mama Bisu jumped up. Lerato! Lerato flinched a bit, but she continued. She said I should remove it after Mama Nandi entered the office, so everyone would think Mama Nandi took it. She said Nandi was becoming too loved, too powerful, and too dangerous for the women's fellowship. Ha! Mama Bisu placed one hand on her chest. This is a demonic lie. Fire! Lerato shook her head and brought out her phone. I have the messages. I have evidence. Yeah? Mama Bisu's eyes almost fell off from the socket. Well, messages can be misunderstood. Zaza leaned forward. Oh, good. Let us misunderstand them together. Then the pastor took the phone and read the message. His face hardened. God Mavis collected it and now read it aloud. She has left. Oh yeah, move the money now. Everywhere went cold. Gogmavi scrolled and saw, make sure they remember she was the last one near that drawer. She scrolled again and saw, by Sunday, she would step down by herself. Yeah? Zaza stood up slowly. Hey, Mama Buisi, this one is witchcraft with data. Oh. Mama Buisi began to sweat under her head wrap. I meant move the records, not move the money. Lerato cried out, Oh no, Mama. You told me to hide the money behind the hymn books because nobody opened hymn books since Projector came. Even the elders looked offended. Brother Bongi shook his head and said, Mama Brisi, this is too low. Mama Brisi tried to do some damage control. I wanted to restore order in the church. Our girls were being misled. They started asking too many questions, becoming too confident, and wearing bright dresses. Oh Lord, help me. Nandi stood up and said, Mama Brisu, you're getting it all wrong. People still respect order. They are now learning the difference between order and control. And that is where your ego was pinched. Nandi opened her file, and said, for 4 months, the welfare post has been short. Sometimes 500 rand, sometimes 700 rand, sometimes even 1,000. I saw that the numbers were not matching with the help people were receiving. Gogmavi stared at her. Why didn't you tell me? Nandi looked at her and said, because I was still confirming it. I didn't want to accuse anyone the way they just accused me. That sentence slapped them in their faces. Then Nandi pushed the bank receipts, the school slips, and the food parcel records forward. When the money was short, I added my own to make it up. I paid school fees, school shoes, exam fees. I covered food parcels money and transport money for widows. The brown envelope in my bag has copies of these proofs, and the file I took were welfare records. Pastor looked at the papers, then at Nandi. Shame sat on his face properly. Nandi turned to him and said, and you, Sibo, you are my husband before you are a pastor. I didn't need you to fight the whole church. I only needed you to know me well enough to pause before you doubt me. Pastor swallowed hard. Nandi, oh no, you questioned me like a committee, not like my husband. And when you stepped back from me in front of them, that hurt me more than any gossip has. Zaza whispered, "Hey, that one reached the spine, oh." Nobody even looked at her. Pastor continued, "I am really sorry. I allowed the noise to shake what I know about you. I failed you, my darling wife." Nandi looked at him and said, "Well, sorry is not just going to cut it. It's going to take a bit of time for us to build back our trust for each other. Okay?" Pastor nodded and said, "I can wait. I will do everything right." Then Nandi turned to Lerato and said, "You did wrong and you must face correction." Lerato broke down. "Mama Nandi, I am sorry. I was afraid." Nandi faced her and replied, "Well, fear is not an excuse, but I can understand how manipulative some people can be. Still, you will face your consequences." Then Pastor faced Mama Bisi. "Mama Bisi, you framed my wife, threatened the secretary, and misled the church. You will step down as women's leader immediately. You will not handle church money, welfare records, women's fellowship matters, or any leadership position for 5 full years. You will also make a public apology to Nandi, to Lerato, and to the church." Mama Bisi froze. 5 whole years? Gog Mavis looked at her. You are lucky it is not police station." Then Pastor Sibu nodded and continued. "And because the welfare fund you wanted to steal and the ones you were using prior for your plans belong to widows and children, you will personally sponsor the next 3 months of food parcels under Gog Mavis supervision. Not because money buys forgiveness, but then it is because you need to remember that welfare is people's hunger, not political weapon. It's our way of helping people. Do you understand that?" Mama Bisi opened her mouth. But Pastor." "Nothing like buts." Gog Mavis cut in immediately. "You deserve more punishment, Seth." Sister Pinky took a deep breath. At least she was happy that she escaped the crime and the verdict. The next Sunday, Pastor Sibu addressed the church and made it plain Nandi did not take welfare money. The money was moved deliberately by Mama Bisi to make her look guilty. "I also owe my wife an apology in the same church where I failed to stand by her." Nandi stood in her bright green dress and collected the microphone. "Pastor Sibu, I accept your apology, but I will not pretend it didn't hurt, because it really, really did." Then she faced the church, and to everyone who enjoyed suspecting, mocking, and gossiping about me, "I forgive you, but some of you enjoyed that possibility of my disgrace too much, and that I leave you to God. Most of you accused me of being worldly because I dressed well. You called me proud because I stood up straight. But while you were measuring my heels and dress sizes, children were wearing shoes I paid for. While you were discussing my perfume, widows were receiving food. And while you were watching my handbag, God was watching your wicked hearts. Chai, shame wear all of them pleated skirts and head wraps." But Nandi smiled and continued. "I'll continue helping where I can, but I will not become women's leader. I do not need a title to love people." That one pained Mama Bisi because she just realized she was fighting for a chair Nandi never even wanted. At the back, Zaza raised her hand and Pastor Sibu sighed. "Oh, Zaza, please be brief." Zaza then stepped forward and said, "If perfume is worldly, then some people need perfume for their hearts because jealousy has body odor." Some people laughed while some shook their heads. After service, Sister Pinky came to Nandi slowly. "Mama Nandi, I am sorry. My mouth ran faster than my sense." Zaza passed behind her and said, "At least now you know the speed limit." Nandi smiled faintly and said, "I forgive you, Sister Pinky. But next time you see something, ask questions correctly before you build a whole stadium of lies." And from that day, whenever Nandi entered Grace Fire Church in bright dresses and her heels, nobody called her too modern to be holy again. Because now they understood that True holiness is not by wearing pleated skirts and headgears. It's in your heart. It's in how you treat people. It's in how kind you are. It's in your daily, day-to-day activities and relationships. That is where true holiness lies. The end. And so, my paddies, we've come to the end of today's story. I hope you enjoyed this one because this one, it was premium drama. I enjoyed it a lot. Kindly drop your thoughts and the lessons you learned from this story down below in the comment section so that we can discuss. Okay? If you're new here, welcome. My name is Naya and I dish out premium stories filled with drama and laughter and lessons back to back. So if that sounds like what you're interested in, please stick around, click the subscribe button and support me in any way you can. I would truly be grateful. Okay? Until I bring another story your way, remember, stay smiling. Ngwano. Bye.